Good afternoon, I'm Rhys Wicks with Hunter News. New South Wales opposition leader Luke Foley will officially launch the Labor state election campaign in the Hunter this afternoon. Foley is set to unveil several announcements for the people of the region, including announcements to Upper Hunter roads and education. Katie Kimberley reports that Labor is looking to strengthen its presence in the region in a bid to topple Premier Mike Baird.
The electorate's been held by the Country or Nationals Party since 1932, but the ALP is hoping to capitalise on the retirement of veteran MP George Souris.
Glenrock State Conservation Area will today have a 10-hectare hazard reduction burn. The burn taking place at the southern end of Glenrock, next to the Banksia Avenue Fire Trail, will reduce fuel loads in the area. Crews began work at 10 a.m. this morning and, weather permitting, will continue to work into the night. The state government has been accused of neglecting the safety of pedestrians in Newcastle. School children are among those who cross the busy Wolf Street on Queen's Wharf to catch the ferry. Newcastle MP Tim Crackenthorpe says the public are not the only concerned party.
The police have also expressed serious concerns and actually suggested that it be closed until they put in proper safety precautions at that crossing.
The Australian Workers' Union is calling for both sides of federal government to come to agreement and exempt Tomaco aluminium from renewable energy target. The aluminium industry has been left in the dark as to their position on renewable energy targets, with both the federal and opposition governments yet to formalise a deal. National Secretary of the Australian Workers' Union, Scott McDine, says the matter needs to be resolved immediately.
We're having to pay for something in the aluminium sector which both major political parties have actually agreed doesn't need to be there, and they will exempt the aluminium sector. And they need to do it, and they need to do it immediately. I mean, aluminium is under immense pressure at the moment, and both major political parties need to stop playing a political football on this and actually fix the issue.
The Rose Group has hit back at Labor's claims Catherine Hill Bay home buyers will be forced to pay connection charges for the national broadband network, insisting a deal was struck for NBN connection before the tax was introduced. The tax requires a $900 fee to be paid by the home buyers for access to the NBN as part of the Abbott government's new homes tax. The site will be home to over 500 families when complete and will boast features such as a general store and cafe. Patrons of Maitland Park Bowling Club will soon be privy to a new access ramp thanks to the New South Wales State Government. Premier Mike Baird will dip into his discretionary funding bucket and provide the centre with $15,000 to help the elderly and disabled with better access. State Councillor Clubs New South Wales John Chin says it's fantastic news for the club.
It is really a necessity, so it's great news for the little club like Maitland Park, and I'm so glad to see that the government has stepped in with a bit of fund and make it possible.
A group of Lake Macquarie Landcare volunteers might have a tougher time going about their business with council putting herbicide ban in place. Lake Macquarie Council told a Landcare group at Killavan Bay they were no longer allowed to use Roundup, stating it was an issue of occupational health and safety. Councillor Ken Paxanos says plans are underway to provide training for volunteers to use herbicide.
It's something that traditionally they have used, and just to have a blanket ban is over the top. I feel that if the concern is occupational health and safety, which I understand and fully endorse, offer training to these people so they can be properly trained and certified in using the tools I think they need to use to do the job.
Now with sport, Belinda Dillas Harris.
The Newcastle Knights could be in for an unexpected on-field reunion with former prop Danny Wicks. The 29-year-old's expected to make his NRL comeback after being named on the bench for Parramatta ahead of their weekend clash with the Bulldogs, which could see him face Newcastle in blue and gold on April 19. Wicks quit the Knights in 2009 after a string of drug offences and a stint in prison. Northern New South Wales football continues to set its sights on artificial surfaces at Lake Macquarie's regional football facility. It comes as Chief Medical Officer Ross Cairns reviews a draft heat policy for the premises on the back of concerns about the role hot surfaces play in the development of injuries during matches at Spears Point. It's part of the league's bid to stamp out preventable injuries. And redhead Ironman Isaac Costello is set to face former Caves Beach rival James McMorland's brother Justin at this weekend's State Surf Lifesaving Championships on the Central Coast. That's sport. I'm Belinda Dillas Harris.
2 on your FM news time is 12:10.